Welcome. We start this new adventure at the Loveless Café, right near the Natchez Trace Parkway, one of the most scenic and historically rich routes in the United States. Opened in 1951, the Loveless Café has been serving Southern comfort food for decades. From its famous biscuits and preserves to its fried chicken and down-home sides, this place is more than just a meal. It's a cultural landmark. Many travelers over the years have used this spot as a waypoint, filling up before heading down the trace, and it's easy to see why. As we take in the charming retro vibe, you can almost feel the history soaking through the walls. The countless visitors, families, and travelers who stopped here over the years. It's a perfect way to start the journey along the Natchez Trace. Now, we're officially on the Natchez Trace Parkway, stretching roughly 444 miles from Nashville, Tennessee to Natchez, Mississippi. This route follows a path that's been traveled for centuries. Originally, it was a network of Native American trails used for trade, hunting, and communication. Later, European settlers, traders, and soldiers made it a key corridor through the region. Driving along, it's hard not to feel connected to history. Every curve, hill, and forested stretch holds stories from centuries past, from early explorers to travelers who moved goods, fought battles, or simply made their way home. There are countless stops and stories along the Natchez Trace, and while this first segment won't cover them all, we'll explore several of the highlights that bring this history and beauty of the trace to life. As we drive, we notice how the parkway winds gently through the rolling hills and dense forests, offering a sense of timelessness. The parkway itself is carefully designed, no billboards, no loud commercial interruptions, so that travelers can immerse themselves fully in the natural beauty of this region. Along the way, you'll see markers and overlooks that point to some of the parkway's unique landmarks. From scenic vistas to historic monuments, each stop tells a story of the people and events that shaped the corridor. But be sure to take your time while driving the trace. The pull-offs and historic stops often appear suddenly, and it's easy to miss them, especially if you're going too fast. Next, we reach the U.S. 1812 Monument, a reminder of the conflict that shaped the nation. The War of 1812 saw soldiers and volunteers traveling these same routes we're on now, navigating dense forests and rough trails. Standing here, you get a sense of the distance and challenges faced by those who moved through this land nearly 200 years ago. As we continue along the trace, the road winds through forests, past creeks, and opens up to scenic overlooks. Along the way, you might spot wildlife, from deer to colorful birds, and remnants of old settlements. Every mile carries a story, and it's easy to see why the travelers from centuries past found both the challenge and the beauty along this route. Even modern engineering has left its mark in subtle ways. The Natchez Trace Parkway Bridge, for example, blends seamlessly into the landscape while standing as a testament to careful planning and design. And during the Great Depression, the Civilian Conservation Corps played a vital role in developing parts of the parkway, leaving behind the very roads and overlooks that we enjoy today. Just a short drive away, Jackson Falls offers a different kind of history, one of natural beauty. The waterfalls here were landmarks for travelers and early settlers, and today they're a popular stop for hikers and photographers. You can imagine weary travelers from the 1800s pausing to admire the same cascading waters, taking a moment of rest along their journey. The old trace near the tobacco farm provides a fascinating glimpse into the daily life that once sustained families and travelers along this historic route. This site is more than just a quiet clearing in the woods, it's a living reminder of how agriculture shaped the culture and economy of the South. Tobacco, in particular, was one of the most influential crops in American history. By the 1800s, it had become a cash crop throughout Tennessee and the surrounding region, providing both livelihood and trade opportunities for settlers. Small farms, like this one, lined sections of the old trace, producing not only tobacco, but corn, cotton, and subsistence crops that fed families and supported communities. Further down the trace, we arrive at one of the most significant historic sites along the entire parkway, the Meriwether Lewis Monument. Lewis, best known as one half of the legendary Lewis and Clark expedition, passed through this region in the early 1800s as part of his duties as governor of the Upper Louisiana Territory. But this stop is more than just a roadside marker of his journey. It's also the place where his life tragically came to an end. In October of 1809, while traveling along the old Natchez Trace, Lewis stopped at Grinder's Stand, an inn located directly on the historic travel route. It was there, just at 35 years old, that he died under mysterious circumstances. Some accounts pointing to suicide, while others have long suspected foul play. Today, the Lewis Monument and gravesite stand as a solemn memorial to his legacy. The simple white shaft rising from the ground symbolizes a life cut short and unfinished, just as his work exploring and shaping the young nation was left incomplete. Nearby, interpretive signs help tell the story of his contributions and the mystery surrounding his final days. Yet, even in his short life, Lewis left behind an enduring impact on America's westward expansion. His careful journals, maps, and scientific observations from the expedition provided some of the first detailed knowledge of the vast Louisiana Territory, its landscapes, rivers, wildlife, and native cultures. These records helped shape the young nation's vision of the frontier, encouraging migration and laying the groundwork for future exploration and settlement. Standing here, along the same historic roadway he once traveled, you can't help but feel the weight of both his monumental achievements and his untimely death. The stillness of the Tennessee hills seemed to echo with both the promise of discovery and the fragility of the lives who walked the old trace centuries ago. As we continue our journey along the Natchez Trace Parkway, it's hard not to feel the weight of the history beneath our wheels. This route has been traveled for centuries, first carved by migrating bison, then adapted by Native American tribes as a trade and travel route. Long before roads or highways existed, this trail connected people, cultures, and communities across this region. By the late 1700s and early 1800s, the trace became a critical corridor for European settlers and traders. President John Adams even designated it as a postal route, helping connect the young nation from Nashville down to Natchez. Our journey on this first segment of the Natchez Trace Parkway has given us a taste of the history, natural beauty, and the quiet charm that makes this road so special. From the early days of the Native American trails to the monuments commemorating explorers and soldiers, the trace is more than just a drive, it's a living timeline. In the next segment, we'll continue to explore further down the parkway, visiting the spots of Elvis Presley's birthplace historic museum in Tupelo and exploring other historic sites, such as the Emerald Mound and the Sunken Trace. Plus, we'll be uncovering even more stories hidden along this incredible route. If you've enjoyed this first segment, make sure to stay tuned for the next video, because the Natchez Trace has so much more to reveal. Thanks for watching.